Hello.
Hello.
So this isn't DJM podcast.
Thank God.
Yeah. No more hoedowns, no more
Irish drinking
songs, no more disgusting stories.
And hopefully no more talking over each other.
Yeah, we'll be fine with that. So you'll probably be confused on, hey, where is all the other men? Well, as I pull a hair out of my mouth. So I thought it was a good idea to do a podcast or talk show with just me and Flagel, Evan.
Hello.
Just because I feel like we have good chemistry and we have good conversations, and I feel like that would work really well. Would you agree?
I absolutely would.
Yeah, I agree. And for college, which we're all so happy about and also not stressed about, right, Carter? Carter's joining us, by the way, because he's a genius. Thank you, Carter. Yeah, thumbs up. Okay. So what I want to go into, this is just a quick little backstory on why we're doing this again. Over the summer we did it for fun, I would say.
Just to
our entertainment.
It was mostly for us and not really for an audience or for any purpose other than we wanted to try it and just make jokes with each other.
Yeah.
But now we're trying to be, I don't want to say like we're trying to like take it more seriously, because it's not like something we're going crazy over the top with, but it's just something we want to have to do it a little bit more straightforward, have a set topic, and just have the great conversations that Ben and I know we can have, and like put that out somewhere and he can use it, I know, for college, and we can have it just like that.
Yeah, so basically what the field that I'm trying to go into for college is multimedia journalism, which at the school that I'm going to, which is Evangel University, or some people like to call it Evan Flagel University.
Because if you ever see the shirt, it's only missing the FLA and it's my full name.
Yeah.
But that's beside
the point. Been funny since freshman year. They want me to do more of a resume kind of thing and really show, what I've been able to do with this stuff. And I feel like, I got a good team, Carter mixing all the stuff and Evan talking with me. So I am really excited about it, but hopefully this will, help me transition into, more of what I'll be working with in the future, which is possibly doing radio broadcasting, possibly working in a radio station, that's like the dream job. So yeah, and it's just fun. It is a lot of fun.
So what we want to get into today, last night Ben put up an Instagram poll for topics to talk about today, and we got a few responses, but the one we landed on today was high school memories and just things that have really stood out to us over the past 4 years, because senior year it's still pretty surreal to us to have it be our senior year and have it be going by as quickly as it is. So for this first episode, we're going to go through just our high school memories and how we've changed and all that stuff since freshman year.
Yeah. Shout out to Colin Jung for the suggestion. Me and Flago have been going same high school 4 years. We didn't move or anything like some people, but all right. So we've known each other, I'd say all 4 years, even though you were new.
Yeah. Well, freshman year, and I'd say probably most of sophomore year, we knew who each other were. Yeah. Like I knew who you were, you knew who I was, but we really weren't acquainted too much beyond that. And then by the time our junior year started and Ben got more involved in theater, that's when we really got to grow closer and got to have the friend group that we do today, and it just sort of came from there. Yeah.
Well, it's weird because I don't know about you, but going into high school for me, finding friends, so I've been going to CHA my whole life. This is actually, I think, my 15th year at CHA, which is actually insane, 15. I did kindergarten a lot. Half day kindergarten, preschool, then kindergarten again. So this will be my 15th year at CHA, which is absolutely insane. So I've known a lot of these people, Vanderwoods, I've known them forever. I've known, I've known Sam my whole life, Sam Hoyer my whole life. So definitely I know a lot of people. And going into high school, being a football player, also doing theater on the side, not knowing what the heck I'm gonna do in high school. For me, it was still easy for me to fit in. I don't know about you, because where'd you come from?
Well, I'm sure I've told this story to a lot of people that are close to me, but just for the sake of going through it all, I'll tell it. But so I had gone to Seven Hills for my whole life ever since I was 3-4 years old in preschool. And after 8th grade, I knew I was going to a new school. And when I came to CHCA, I, of course, had high hopes like any new student would. But for the first, I want to say the first quarter at least, it was like, it really wasn't like, school wasn't a social thing for me anymore. And that was probably the hardest part of it. The simplest way I can say it is, excuse me, is that, everybody always knows school is this thing you have to do, but at the same time, it's fun because you have people or people you're friends with that you do it with. But for the first part of my freshman year, that wasn't the case. School had no social aspect to it whatsoever. And all it was to me was, I go here, I sit in class, I may talk to people here and there, I do my work, I go home, I do my homework, I wake up the next morning and do the same thing all over again. And so that obviously would be a hard transition and a hard thing to do. And so it really was theater that brought me into where I am today and what I've been able to do today. Because like, I knew I had been pretty big into theater since I was in maybe 6th or 7th grade. And after like that time in my life, that's when I knew like I really wanted to continue on with it and like not really play a sport or not be involved in athletics, because theater just meant so much more to me. And it was so much more of a fun outlet for me in a way that I could do something I loved and perform and tell a story for people. And so I had our first show for our freshman year was A Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And that was how I met my first little group of people. That's where I met Sam Hoyer, who has been my best friend ever since. I mean, we didn't like just start off and hit it off right away, but we got to know each other a little bit and then continued on. But the start of the first probably half of my freshman year was still sort of that isolation type of thing. And I knew it would take time. And that's one thing I can really say is like, you have to really be patient with this sort of thing. I mean, that was really how I got started.
Yeah. Which is sweet because, I mean, you look at us now and we're all pretty close friends. And I couldn't even like, the only thing me and Flagle had in common freshman year was 8th bell science class. So, I mean, I didn't talk to him at all. It was weird because like, if you were to tell me freshman year, hey, you're not going to play football, you're going to switch from all football to all theater, you're going to completely change your life. If ever you tell me that freshman year, I would not have believed you. It's whack, but I am very happy that, since freshman year I've changed.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's one thing that you will come to realize. And if anybody, I'm not sure who will be listening to this or who won't be listening to this, but if there's anybody who's an underclassman and who's thinking about this, for the life of you, do not think that if something is valid to you your freshman year, don't think that's still going to make sense your senior year. I mean, it might, but there's a good chance it won't. Things that you think about and the way you see yourself at when you're 15 is nowhere near what it's like when you're 18. And one thing, I was talking about this with my mom actually the other day when I was talking about applying to college and I was like getting my senior pictures done and it was just really surreal. She really pointed out to me all the things other than just straight theater that I've been able to do after coming to CHCA, which is something I really hadn't put into perspective. Like Ben said with freshman year, if you had told him that he wouldn't be a football player and he would completely change what he was doing, if you had told me that I would be able to, like, by the time I was a junior or senior, I would be able to like run slides for a chapel service, or be a camera operator or a lighting operator, or do improv, whatever that is, or be able to play drums in front of people. That, I mean, I would have thought you were crazy back then. But with all these things, all these opportunities have come to me. And it's of course the classic CHCA cliche of get involved, blah, blah, blah. But really, when you're open and when you're willing to like step outside of your comfort zone a little bit, usually more things will come to you and more opportunities will come to you because of that.
Yeah. And it goes back to saying, like, same thing with me. Like, if you were to tell me freshman year, it's kind of dumb, but legit, I couldn't, last thing on my mind was leaving CHA freshman year. I was like, I was like, is there even an end to this school? Like, it's 4 years and I'll be out of this school. And now I look back and I'm like, man, it's over. Like, it's not over, but like, it's getting to the time where it's like, wow, like, you really have to take advantage of the time that you've got. And I definitely say a big tip for, I mean, I guess like we said, we really don't know who's listening, but if you're an underclassman, you can't look forward to, I mean, you can't look forward to it, but always be in the moment, I would say, would be something I would say. Just the little things that, you know, that either me or Flagel or any of our other friends or any of the people at CHA especially would, just small things that we would forget. I mean, I forget most of the things. Thank God I had a phone. Most people know that I videotape legit everything. So, but yeah, you definitely need to live in the moment at CHCA because, you know, things will pass by. And the thing is, the cool thing about CHCA is you won't get those opportunities anywhere else because the environment we have at our school is absolutely amazing. I could go on and on about how great I think our school is. Just definitely make sure you're not jumping the gun on stuff. You know, take one thing at a time. That means taking opportunities to do stuff outside of your line, like, you know, try a sport. Sports are amazing at CHA, if you ask me. You know, try theater. That's a biased opinion. I love theater. Try choir. I mean, I know a bunch of my friends who I would never expect to be in theater, choir are in choir. It is insane. There's just a lot of opportunities.
With that, when I say all the opportunities that have come to me, I definitely want to take a second to say don't kill yourself on things. Don't over involve yourself, and don't make it seem like you have to be doing something every second of every day. Because when you're doing that, it's going to be the problem of things passing you by even worse than it would be before. Because if you're not taking time to just kind of sit back and think about and appreciate what you have and what you've done so far, and really process in your mind, well, where do I want to go from here? And what do I want to do next? That's when you really decide what's best for me and what do I really enjoy and what am I really passionate about.
Yeah. One thing that I can say from experience is, I mean, just today, this is my second time ever singing at chapel. And ever since freshman year, I saw Parker Bach up there with Carolina Rakeshaw sang almost every single chapel. And I was like, man, you know what? Someone should really step up and start doing that. Never thought it would be me. You couldn't have told me. Today, if you were look back at the video, my legs were shaking after I got done singing because I'm like, I really just did that. And like, I thought about sophomore year. I'm like, maybe because there's no guys up there singing, I'm like, maybe I should go up there and sing. Last year, I tried. I mean, director never got back to me about it. But it's still, I was very unsure about it. I mean, now look at me. I absolutely love it. I love DeMar, who's the worship leader. I mean, he's an amazing guy. Carter helps as well. It's fun. It's wasted time. You know, it's going out of your comfort zone, which is huge, and it will most definitely help you in the future.
Talking about being in chapel, and I mean, this may sound like a kind of a biased thing because we both do perform in chapel.
Yeah,
I really did come from the same kind of mindset you did because I've been playing drums since like a little bit before freshman year, and back then it was really my brother and I bought a drum set for fun, and we would just bang on it in our basement. And for me, I would go into chapel and I would see David Jung just rocking it, and I'd be like, wow, that is really cool. That would be awesome to be at that level and to have that kind of thing just performing music and to be able to take on a leadership position.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing. And that's a huge thing that I've realized, and I'm sure you have too, is that the role that we had freshman year and what we thought about back then, just, I mean, probably not at the same time, but maybe individually when we were sitting in 8th Bell biology class together, the roles completely reverse in that you're seeing all these people who think, oh, that's really cool. Well, what do I want to do? How do I be a part of this? And then hopefully what I think a good goal for anybody would be is to be, by the time you get to be an upperclassman, you get to see the roles reverse and you get to be in that leadership position, which is a really, really, like, it's a difficult thing to do for anyone, to be able to be in front of people and to try to set an example and to try to be the one to look up to. But when you can get to that level and when you can see where you've come from and where you get to by the time you get older and by the time you're about to graduate, it's really an amazing feeling.
Yeah, and something weird that reminds me of that is what's taken me so long this year to really understand is those people freshman year that introduced us to the school, that were our ambassadors, those seniors, the ones that were 7 feet tall, dudes had full grown beards and they looked like they were 30 years old. That's us now. Like,
yeah.
And it's so weird because I sometimes have to put myself in the freshman's and this year's freshman's head. I'm like, yeah, I was there before. Like, we gotta, give them some patience and whatnot. It's whack. Like, I feel like when I was a freshman, all these kids looked so much older.
Oh yeah.
I feel like everyone can agree with that. Like, I remember some kids walking through the hallways just huge. I'm like, look at Prince. Geez, that guy looked like he was 30. He probably is. But but I swear I saw him in the hallway and I'm like, dude, I didn't even think about, like, no way no one's gonna look like that. I just don't feel like that we're that big. But then again, you walk in the hallway and freshmen just stare at you. Yeah. They're just like, oh my gosh, there's seniors walking by. I'm like, we're friendly.
And I think everybody kind of subconsciously experiences that.
Yeah.
Where they're like, there's no way I look like that, or there's no way I'm gonna get to look like I'm 30 years old and I'm like that. But I mean, I try not to even think about that much. But sometimes, like, if I ever say to myself, I'm going to be 18 in a month, like, that still blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like, just like it's so crazy to even think that I can now be like at the top of the pack being, I guess I am taking the senior with a full beard role now.
Yeah.
But I can be like who I looked up to, and I can be like who I thought were these untouchable figures. And I can say, like, and it still blows my mind in both perspectives, just to think that I'll be legally an adult in about a month, or just to think that, like, I have these freshmen looking at me like I looked at the seniors 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
is an unbelievable thought.
It is very strange. Well, let's switch up topics. Let's talk about.
We had our kind of plan of action here of how we wanted to talk about through our freshman year and all the memories. I think we wanted to touch on, like, we talked about how we've changed, but if there's anything we would have done differently.
There's a lot of things that I think I would have done differently freshman year. Nothing extracurricular. I mean, I had the time of my life. Football was and always will be one of the most, emotional I've ever been during a sport. It had kept me really busy, and I need to be busy. Just academically, dude. I mean, I hear from high schoolers, middle school doesn't matter. You have exams, quote unquote exams. They're not really exams, and that's gonna help you in high school. And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. High school is just overhyped, just like middle school's overhyped. Not overhyped, but it's over. Just maybe described. I don't know. Like, if people put so much, like, threat into it. Like, yeah, one slip
like,
up, and
this is
gone.
the end all be all of everything.
Yes, and I mean, freshman year is just like, I mean, at the time, I thought I had really good friends, and I was like loving life. It was, I had great teachers. I mean, teachers at our school are crazy, are like I'm crazy amazing. Anyways, um, just academically, and to this day, it does. Trust me, it matters. Now that we're doing colleges and stuff, freshman and sophomore year, I had like it was just wasn't concentrated on school. I was only concentrated on football and oh my gosh, there's a girl and oh my gosh, we're having a party tonight. Sweet, awesome, let's go to a party. No, I don't party. I just went for the girls. I'm not gonna lie, I did go only for the girls and still never got any. But it's all right. I only cared, when's the game on tonight? I never cared about like why are my parents sending me to this school? It's always a big thing that I think about now. There's a reason why I'm at this school, and you always have to take it into consideration. You have to be more serious about it. So yeah, I really wouldn't change much besides definitely I would say it like this: setting my priorities straight. I'm bad. I was bad about I'll put friends first, football second, school third, family fourth, which never is a good idea. But now I could clearly say that it's changed. But definitely make sure as a freshman and sophomore, I think a lot of people could also say that priorities are huge.
What I would say about going into high school and looking back through it is that what should really be your focus for your entire high school career, and what I think I wished my focus was more so than it was or wasn't, is the work ethic you develop. Because if you're involved in something, whether it be a sport, whether it be theater, whether it be band, and anything that it is, you have to learn for yourself to balance the things that you're doing, and to be able to say, I'm not gonna do this tonight because I have to do this instead, and to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wish I had done a little bit differently, because I never had terrible grades. I wasn't a bad student, but I wish I had really concentrated more on understanding where my balance was and building that work ethic.
Yeah.
Because
work ethic is huge in high school.
It really is.
No matter what, like school, extracurricular stuff, theater, football, you name it, it's huge. Very underrated.
Because no matter what, you're gonna have to put some of yourself into whatever it is you're doing.
Sacrifices.
It is. It's 100% sacrifices. That's one thing. The other thing that I think I would say is, if I could tell myself something looking back, it would be that all of the small things that you think people care about and would judge you for, 9 times out of 10, they're not paying the slightest bit of attention, and they don't notice, they don't care. And this is really a much bigger thing probably in middle school, looking back on it. But all the things you think you care about were, do I look perfect? Am I doing this right? Am I saying this correctly? Am I saying this in a cool way? Am I acting as a popular person would? More often than not, people pay much less attention to that and will judge you much less than you think.
Yeah.
And I don't want this to sound like, oh, don't care what anybody thinks, you just got to be with yourself. What I would say instead of that is, when you find your core group of people that care about you and will support you, they're out there for everybody. They really are. And will support you and will try to help you and want what's best for you. You absolutely should care what they think. Mm-hmm. You absolutely should take input, and you absolutely should be open to criticism.
I always go to
that's a huge thing.
Yeah, I always go to my friends first before I make any big decision. Sometimes, sometimes there's things that you go to your parents for, but then there's things that you're like, I know the right person to ask for that. I mean, I'll ask you for stuff. I'll ask Sam for stuff. I'll ask you for stuff. Evan for stuff. It's teachers for stuff. You really got to find that core. That's a good point. You got to find your core friends.
You got to find your core people, and you can't go with the attitude of, I don't care what anybody thinks, because deep down nobody's like that. But you have to, it's again, like you said, priorities, get your priorities straight no matter what, because once you do, then you'll know that I need to care about what these people think and what these people are saying to me, because I know they have my best interest in mind and I know they're going to support me through this. And once you have that, then it's so much easier to be open and to truly open up yourself and to truly be yourself around people, and for even beyond high school, which is a great skill to have beyond high school. I had one more thought, but it just left my mind. I'm so sorry. What?
It happens.
It does. I had one more thing I was going to say. I'll get it back in a sec.
But I think what we could definitely say together is, all in all, find that core group of friends. I mean, hey, sometimes it doesn't work out because, I went through 3 huge drastic, like huge changes through high school. Started out with, I would call them the quote unquote popular kids. I know I wasn't a popular kid. Now, I was one of the kids who hung around with the popular kids, who would get invited to stuff only because, oh, it's Ben, kind of have to. One of those things. To only football, bunch of meatheads. I'll still call them meatheads to this day. They're all my friends still. It's just they aren't as close as I used to be. And now I have just 2 core friend groups, people I've been friends with for my whole life, my boys. Then my theater friends, who are just like, it's a family. So definitely get that straight. Find out who loves you, and there always is someone, I promise you, especially at CHEA. So that's probably the big part of what I'd have to say about that.
Mm-hmm. I got my thought back. I remember what I was going to say. I was just going to wrap up. I was going to wrap up the point that I was making with just the advice of be open to criticism, no matter what, and that just goes along with the core group of people. Be open to hearing something you're doing wrong or something you need to do differently, because nobody is so high and so mighty that somebody close to them can't call them out when they've done something wrong.
Yeah.
And if somebody does that, and somebody does that, once you find your core group of people, that they can do that, and it's out of love, and it's because that they care about you.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about, oh, do they still like me? Are they still going to be my friend? Yeah. You have to kind of humble yourself and just get rid of pride and be able to say, I know these people well enough. These people know me well enough that they're going to tell me when something's going wrong, and they're going to be able to help me.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, we'll kind of wrap it up with our topic today. So basically what I would say to wrap it up is, especially if you go to CHEA, you take advantage of what you've got. Not every school has the resources that we have. Not every school has the teachers. Not every school has, the faculty, the students, the opportunities.
Exactly.
So definitely, take action, and make it quick, because 4 years, it sounds like a lot. It's not, especially when you're in a place that you thoroughly enjoy being in, with a lot of people that you love. So that's all I've got to say about that.
Absolutely. Just really find your people is my biggest thing, because if you're open, you can find them, and at the same time, they'll be finding you.
Yeah.
So absolutely take advantage of what you've been given, appreciate what you've been given. And, there are going to be low points and there's going to be high points, but hopefully you can sort of regard it as a good life experience and something that changed you.
Yeah. So that does it for this episode. Just then again, thank you for, if you are listening, thank you. And understand that this is still, we're not experts.
We're not. We're giving this a shot just in this type of format. And if you got a suggestion for us, I'm pretty sure, Ben, you'll probably open up another poll tonight.
Yeah.
If there's something you want to hear, if there's something you want us to talk about, or you think there's something that we could do differently to make it better, please let us know.
Yeah.
Because we want to make this the best we can be, the best it can be. and we're really just trying to hit the ground running and start this off. But yeah, please let us know what you think. Please let us know any topics you have for suggestions, and we'll do our best to make the best we can.
Yes, sir. That's all for this one. See ya.
All right, signing off. Goodbye.